Okay, as was just mentioned, trying to think about all these things at the same time is it can be a bit much. Try to go through them slowly. When you're sparring, you're obviously not going to be able to think about all this. What you're looking for is patterns. That's the way that you remember things, is patterns and combinations. There's only so many ways the human body will move. So as we're learning these combinations now, you'll know that from a certain strikes that you throw in, it's going to force a certain movement. So instead of when you're thinking about, oh, there's a gap, let's go for one punch there, think, okay, they're in a certain motion, certain position there, that's going to lead to this pattern, and that's going to move them into leading up to my finishing strike. These combinations, these patterns that differentiate champions in all sorts of sports then from beginners and novices. Because novices are trying to think one step at a time. Okay, we've got to get that punch to that gap, move, where's he going to move from there? And yet someone who's more experienced, as we put the time in, they'll move and they'll throw a punch and they'll anticipate as if they're psychic or something where the other person's going to be. It's because they've learned patterns and their brain recognises patterns instantly. Because your brain works in chunks of information and in patterns far more easily than individual bits. So I'm trying to, if you remember a verse or a rhyme or the words to a song, if you try and remember each individual word, you've got a chance. But if you'll remember whole verses, you remember thousands of things if it's in a certain pattern, a certain sequence. So when we're learning combinations, we're not just learning different ways of putting punches together, we're learning little chunks of information, because that's far more useful when you're in the fight. When we're doing some sparring now, I want you to work on recognising little patterns that your opponent's moving. Because they'll have certain habits they'll do. They might always do 1-2 in the back. 1-2 in the back. They'll have certain combinations that they'll do without thinking about it. Every time they come for an overhand, they might shut down and move a certain way. They might set up every takedown with the same 1-2. They'll do habitual things. So part of the feeling out process when you're starting sparring or starting a fight is just recognising some of those little patterns that the person has, and then capitalising on it, using it, finding where their weaknesses are, because they won't be even where they're doing it. And then you can set it up, and then you can use it to predict what they're going to do, anticipate what they're going to do. So if you recognise it, and you know they drop the hand and move the head in a certain way, set it up, and that's where your gap is. You set it up. That's the way a champion striker will not do it. They'll set it up, they recognise a pattern, use a combination, and then finish them off. It's better than just trying to do 1s and 2s and doing it randomly, because you may get lucky with that, but it's those patterns and the chunks of movement that work. It's the best way, because that's the way to do it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Cool, fantastic.